Hey, welcome to our weekly Redfin housing update. And today I'm going to explain why sellers are completely freaking out and why buyers are staying on the sidelines right now. If you're new to this channel, my name is Jason. I'm a realtor and investor just outside of Columbus, Ohio. I've been helping people buy and sell real estate for the last 7 years, going on 8 years now. And also own some rental properties. I own some Airbnbs and flip homes too. So I'm deep in the real estate market. I'm trying to bring you the real estate data from the ground level, from what I'm seeing on the street. And we're going to dive into the Redfin housing data. They provide an update every week to us. And honestly, I barely read the article. I just looked at the data that came out yesterday in preparation for today's live. So the way this goes is that we're going to review the national update, and then we're going to look at the city information. So I've got specific metros that I'm going to analyze across the country. So today I've got Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, obviously because I'm in Ohio. So I'm going to hit on those cities. Then I've got Denver, I've got Dallas, I've got Nashville, Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta, and Boston, Massachusetts. So those are the cities I'm going to analyze. If you have a city you want me to analyze on this live, drop it in the comments below. And if you have a question about real estate or a comment as to what you're seeing in your local housing market, please put it in the comments below. I love the comments. I learn a lot. Other people do on the channel. And this video is all for you to help you understand what's happening in the housing market. So let's jump right into the data and the info. Let me just share my screen. All right. So first, I'll go over just the article briefly, and then I'll hit on their leading indicators, tells us what's happening nationally. Remember, this is all national data. And then I'm going to dive into the city. So I thought this was funny. The way this Redfin update usually goes is they're overly optimistic normally about the market. And they lead off by saying buyers are coming back. Mortgage demand shoots up. Home tours hit highest level since May. So I want to know from you, do you think the buyers are back? Do you think um, home tours or shooting up, is that going to cause more people to buy houses? I can tell you from somebody who does a open house virtually every weekend, in person every weekend, not virtually, but I do it almost every weekend. Buyers don't seem like they're coming back right now. At least that's what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing buyers out there running into the market to buy homes. It seems like they're definitely cautious for a variety of reasons that we're going to talk about today. And sellers who have houses listed, and if they're not selling, they're dropping their price. And I've got a couple listings right now that aren't moving, and people are wondering why aren't they moving? And a lot of times it has to do with price, but buyers are also a lot more choosy. So I just thought it was funny that the article leads off by saying that buyers are back. Now, mortgage rates dropped recently, right? In the last FMOC meeting, it looks like the mortgage rates dropped, or were going to drop, but they actually went up because the Fed cut their interest rate 50 basis points, but mortgage rates actually went up instead of down. So now they're at 6.19 approximately. So, just because the Fed cut rates doesn't mean that mortgage rates are necessarily going to fall as much as the Fed cuts. So we'll just look at a little bit of this article right now. They say mortgage rate locks rose 68% from a month earlier in the days after the Fed announced its interest rate cut, and the Redfin Homebuyer Demand Index shot up to its highest level since May. Many house hunters had been waiting for the Fed's cut before locking in a mortgage rate. I don't understand that part because right after they cut the rate, mortgage rates actually went up. They were at 6.11 before the rate cut. Now they're at 6.19. So I'm not exactly sure how they think that that caused people to lock in rates. Maybe it did. So it goes on. News about last week's interest rate cut is starting to bring home buyers back. All right. Home buyers locked in nearly 70% more mortgages than they did a month earlier. That's according to the mortgage rate lock data from Optimal Blue. It's worth noting that a surge in mortgage rate locks may overstate the increase in mortgage demand, and it could be exacerbated by buyers who had already decided to purchase a home, but were waiting to lock in a rate until after the Fed meeting. If you waited till after the Fed meeting, you actually got a higher rate, not a lower rate. That's what makes no sense, but whatever. There are other indicators that demand is improving. Mortgage purchase applications are up more than 10%. Month over month. Additionally, Redfin's Homebuyer Demand Index, a measure of tours and other buying services from Redfin agents, shot up to its highest level since May. All right. So they're saying that demand is back because they're seeing purchase applications increase. They're saying 10% month over month. I think they were up like 1% year over year. I don't know. We'll see here in a minute at their leading indicators. News of the Fed's historic interest rate cut is the main factor bringing home buyers off the sidelines. Mortgage rates and housing costs had been declining meaningfully for several weeks before the rate cut. And before this week, it hadn't led into an uptick in demand. So pay attention to that part, right? It has not led to an uptick in demand really, since mortgage rates have dropped from, mid sevens, even up to 8%, all the way down to 6.11, has not caused a flurry of buyers to run back into the market yet. At least not, we haven't seen that yet. Improving affordability is also, of course, a major factor bringing back buyers. The median monthly housing payment is down 4% year over year. So instead of being insanely unaffordable, it's really unaffordable, I guess. It dropped to its lowest level since January, with the exception of the prior 4-week period, thanks to the mortgage rates dropping to their lowest level. Home prices are still increasing nationwide, rising 3.9% year over year. That's not the case. I'll show you in a second. Home prices are not rising. They're still up year over year, but they're not going up week after week or month over month right now. They're actually down to 385,000, but they don't mention that as one of the reasons why housing payments are lower. They're not saying that. In some metro areas such as San Jose and Los Angeles, housing payments have fallen more significantly. Well, they're not getting better rates than the rest of the country. It's probably because prices have dropped there more than other areas of the United States. So tell me, I want to know from you, are home prices dropping in your market? Are you starting to see home prices come down at all? I'm really curious. And please tell me where you live and give me some specifics about the type of house and, how much it was discounted. I'd really like to know what's happening out there, because this data only tells us so much. I know what's going on in Columbus and in Central Ohio, but I don't know about the rest of the country, and, other people can learn too. So please chime in. All right. So we'll continue with the article, then get to the leading indicators. I thought this was funny. One new client decided to start their home search last Thursday because of the Fed rate cuts on Wednesday, said Andrew Vallejo, a Redfin premier agent in Austin, Texas. They immediately reached out to a real estate agent they're working with. They immediately reached out to a real estate agent and they're working with a lender. Rate cuts have sparked more showings. We're seeing all the listings in the area get more traffic. It's a nice glimmer of hope after a slow year in Austin. Okay. Again, they're saying, hey, the Fed cut rates, so people ran back out into the market. I know I held an open house last week and I asked about that. Buyers were not telling me they were running back because of the Fed cut. They were just like, yeah, we had some extra time, so we've kind of thought about selling our house, but we're not ready yet, so we're just kind of poking around the open houses. That's really what I got from people. All right, so let's get to the leading indicators. Daily average 30-year fixed mortgage rate, 6.19%. We know that. Weekly average 30-year fixed mortgage rate, 6.09%. Mortgage purchase applications increased 1% from a week earlier, up 2% year over year. So they're up 1% from last week, but they're up a whopping 2% from last year. Redfin Homebuyer Demand Index, that's the index that measures just general homebuyer demand according to Redfin. That is at its highest level since May, up 7% from a month earlier, up 1% year over year. They're right about this. That's the first increase since 4 weeks ending October 22nd. So I haven't seen the home buyer demand index from Redfin go up year over year hardly at all. They're referencing the fact that it hasn't gone up in 4 weeks. So they're saying there's more demand. Touring activity up 8% from the start of the year. 8% from the start of the year. I mean, it was in January, you're not looking for homes, or a lot of people don't, right? So is that really an improvement? I don't think it is. Google searches for homes up 4% from a month earlier, but down 4% from a year earlier. So people are just searching for homes less on Google. Key housing market data. So they're going to take the top 400 U.S. metro areas. They analyze them and give us some of this data. So they show median sale price, $384,748. That's a year-over-year increase of 3.9%. Biggest increase in 2 months. I mean, it is the biggest increase in 2 months, I guess, but prices aren't skyrocketing, and they're not going up month over month, at least not according to the charts. We'll see that in a minute. Median asking price up to $399,000. This was dropping. Now it's actually starting to go back up. That's the biggest increase since January. Monthly mortgage payment is $2,519. Still unaffordable, right? I think it's up over $1,000 since 2022. That's down 4.4% year over year. Pending sales, pay attention to this, folks, 76,000 units. That's it. Down 3.1%. They don't mention that in the article. Pending sales are horrible still. It's a complete debacle. Just an absolute debacle in home sales. New listings, 90,000 new listings. Not a ton of new listings, but we're up 7.6% year over year. That's the biggest increase in 3 months. You'll see that on the chart in a second. Active listings, over 1 million now, up 18% since last year, but they're saying that's the smallest increase since April. I'll show you what's going on the chart in a minute because they revised the data for the previous weeks, and it looks like we've been over 1 million units for several weeks now. Months of supply, 4.1. I haven't seen it over 4 yet. Now it's over 4. That's the highest level since February. That basically means, hey, how many houses are on the market? How many houses are we selling each month? How many months of supply do we have if we don't add any more homes? That's 4.1 months right now. So up 0.9 points. That's almost up a full point. Wow. But they don't talk about that in the article, obviously. So by many, 4 months is considered balanced, but a lot of people think it's really a buyer's market right now. I mean, that's really what's going on. A lot of people think, hey, it's a buyer's market, not a seller's market. Share of homes off the market in 2 weeks or less, that's 34.3%, down from 39%. So homes are sitting longer on the market, no doubt. Median days on market, 38 days, up 7 days from last year. 7 days. Homes are definitely taking longer to sell. Share of homes sold above list price, 27%. That's down from 32%, continues to drop. As far as the number of homes that are selling above list price. Average sale to list price ratio, 98.9, down a half a point. So we were at 99% for a while. Now we're at 98.9%. A small decrease, but still homes are on average selling for less than the list price ratio. Not a ton less, but they are selling for less. All right. Now we look at the top 50 most populous U.S. metros and look at who the winners and losers are from a metro standpoint. So we've got median sale price where they went up the most: Newark, New Jersey; Providence, Rhode Island; Cincinnati, Nasty Natty, Ohio; Detroit; and Milwaukee. I was just in Detroit last week. Yeah, I guess it was last week. And I don't know, Detroit, I've talked to a couple of locals and they said that home prices are ridiculous there. And it's like a crazy market. People are still buying like crazy and homes are selling quickly. That's what they told me. The locals told me when I kind of asked them, uh, what was going on. So it seems like and it's a cool it's a cool city. It's not a little city, but it's a cool city downtown. From what I saw anyway, it would surprise you if you were in Detroit. I know a lot of people are saying that once they get a chance to visit. So Milwaukee, 9.4% increase year over year median sale price. All right, where did prices decrease the most? Not surprised here, but I am surprised on two of these, I guess. Oakland and Denver made the list now, but we got Austin, Dallas, Tampa, Denver, and Oakland. So we've got California and Colorado. I'm going to analyze Denver coming up here in depth, but maybe I should put in Oakland too, because I always see Dallas, Austin. You see Tampa on here on the decline list, but now you've got Denver and Oakland on here too. So a California and a Colorado metro. You can see here it declined in 8 metros. So that means 42 of the top 50 most populous metros actually had an year over year increase in home prices, in the median home price. So that list of declining areas is growing, but it's still not, the majority of metros. Pending sales, when a house actually goes into contract, you've got San Jose, Phoenix, Boston, San Antonio, Los Angeles is where pending sales increase the most. And that's a sign of, demand, right? If pending sales are increasing more compared to last year, you just have more transactions than last year. But where did they fall the most? West Palm Beach, Florida; Miami; Fort Lauderdale; New Brunswick, New Jersey; and Atlanta is where they fell the most. New listings. This is, if you're looking for a metric or an indicator to keep track of in your area, I would pay attention to new listings. Pending sales are good too, but new listings tell you how many listings are being added to the market. And if you see new listings, more new listings than you do pending sales, then that's a good indicator that, prices could start to come down as inventory builds. Conversely, if you see less new listings, more pending sales, and that active inventory is declining, you may see higher prices or prices remain sticky. So that's kind of a general rule of thumb. All right, so those are new listings. Let's see, they went down the most. Oh, I didn't do the up. So they went up the most in San Jose, Phoenix, Anaheim, Las Vegas, and New York is where they went up the most. Down the most: San Antonio, Atlanta, Austin, San Francisco, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Look at San Antonio, new listings down 20% compared to last year. And then you got San Jose up 23% compared to last year. So obviously two different markets completely. All right, now we'll look at the charts, the year-over-year charts here. Then we'll dive into the metros. So median sale price. Yep, you can see it right here. It's right under $350,000. I'm sorry, $385,000. That's, it looks like it's now kind of leveling off. A lot of people think it's going to end up underneath 2023. Will it? I don't know. It may, but it's definitely not going up. They said it was going up, but it's not. So that's an odd thing for them to say. Median asking price, 5.4% year over year. So now this is going up. It was headed right down, now going back up. This is what people are asking for homes. Generally speaking, if people are asking more for homes, and that continues to increase, generally speaking, you would see the sale price, increase as well. But right now it's starting to go back up. Home buyer housing payments down 4%. We know that. Underneath 2023, look at that. And threatening to go underneath 2022. Pending sales down 3% year over year. So if you're in the business like me, like if you're a realtor, if you're a title agent, if you're maybe an inspector, a home inspection company, you've got to be feeling it because the transactions are pitiful right now, just pitiful. New listings of homes. See, you can see this start to go up now. Look at that. It was right here. It started to go down. I thought it was going to go underneath 2023. It didn't. Now it's starting to go back up. And that's weird for this time of year. If you can look at that chart, right? It's usually going down. Right now it's going this way. So it's kind of, if you want to call it bucking seasonal trends, but you have to remember our new listings are horrible. Or they have been over the last, couple years. So because of that, an increase isn't hard to get year over year. Nonetheless, it is going up. Now it's past 2022. We have more new listings now than 2022 at this time. Pretty shocking. Active listings. Now, this one looked like it was headed down because new listings were headed down. But now that new listings are starting to go up, this one's leveling off. So we're up 18% year over year with active listings. And it looks like it's starting to level off. Maybe it'll start going back up meaningfully and adding more and more inventory to the market. But you can see right now we're at 1,022,000 active listings. They revised this data and we've been at over 1 million now for several weeks. I'm guessing because MLSs take a little bit of time to actually come through the system. And because they update this every week, I think there's a lagging, there's data that's lagging, I think, when they gather it from different MLSs across the country. 4.1 months of supply available on the market. So this is going straight up. I mean, straight up. And I haven't seen it over 4 months in a while. It's definitely the highest. I mean, it's higher. It's a 4-year high at this time of year, but it's threatening to eclipse what it was the beginning of the year. And again, that's, typically inventory builds in the spring. And then as it gets into the winter months, sellers aren't listing their home as much, buyers aren't usually buying, and the new listings kind of stall. But now the new listings are really skyrocketing. And months of supply is too because of that. 34% of pending sales under contract within 2 weeks. Just means homes are sitting longer than they were the last 4 years. Homes sold in a median of 38 days. So taking longer to sell homes, they just are, right? That's just how it is. 27% of homes sold above final list price. So homes in general aren't selling above what people are asking as much as they were, obviously, the last few years. I mean, look at this back in, 2022? Over 50% of homes were selling above final list price. Now you're at 27%. That's a big difference. It just is. I want to know from you, are you hearing that people are paying over asking for homes? I'm not seeing that now. I'm seeing sellers get asking price, but not over asking as much. I'm actually not seeing that at all on my listings. Average home sold for 98.9% of final list price. So homes are just not selling for as much as they were, way back in 2022. Look at this, 102%, like 103%. So instead of paying 103% on average for, compared to list price, now people are paying, obviously 98.5%. So it's not, that's a 3 or 4 percentage point move. That's probably good for the market. You don't want people paying over asking. That's just not healthy. Not healthy for anybody. Okay. Last one is demand. Redfin Home Buyer Demand Index. It's actually up past 2023. I wouldn't put too much stock in this though. I can just tell you, at least in Ohio and in central Ohio, buyers are pulling back. They're waiting. So the demand isn't there. Will that change with the lower interest rates coming? Maybe. But a lot of them are waiting on the election. Some are just waiting on lower prices. Okay, so let's look at the metro level data now. Let me just fix my camera. All right. So this is the Redfin data center. You can come here too and download this information. You can actually download the raw data or just look at it like I am. So we're going to start with Columbus and then move to Cincinnati, and then we'll move to the other metros. So I normally start with new listings on each of these metros, and then I do active listings, then I do pending sales, then I'll do days on market. Sometimes I'll do days on market, but then I always do median sale price at the end. So new listings in Columbus, Ohio, up 6.5% year over year. It's sideways. It's not going up like it is nationally at all. I mean, the new listings in the Columbus market just aren't good. There's just not a lot of great new listings, especially great listings. Like there are listings that come out, but a lot of them are like wish pricing, right? Where somebody goes, "Hey, I want like, $700,000 for my $500,000 house," and they test the market, right? They put their toe in the water and test it. Hey, if I get some love, or if I can sell my house for 700, I will. But if I can't, well, I'll just take it off the market. I'm seeing that. I'm definitely seeing that. All right, so those are new listings. Let's do active listings for Columbus. What do we got? Sideways. We're 18% higher than last year, but we're not skyrocketing at all. I wonder how pending sales are now. Let's find out. Pending sales are just horrible, right? They're like basically what they were last year, which isn't good. Down 0.7% year over year. There's just no activity in Columbus. And it's like a lot of other metros across the U.S. Let's do median sale price. You know what? Let's do median days on market first. Ooh, look at that. Yikes. Up 5.6 days. Now we're at 41 days in Columbus, higher than the national average. You can see there's a definite difference here over the last few weeks in Central Ohio. Look at that. Homes are sitting longer. The weird thing is people aren't listing homes though. So the new listings aren't going up, and that's causing, active listings to remain stagnant. If tons of people listed their house right now in Columbus, you would have a you would have a lot of dead inventory, because the median days on market is exploding. Wow. Okay. Let's look at median sale price. 343 grand. This went back up from 339. It feels like it's kind of stuck in this channel of like 350 to 340. It's up 5% year over year. So it continues to be unaffordable for the local folks here. And a lot of that is because people aren't listing their homes, especially affordable homes. Good move-in ready FHA affordable homes aren't listed. And I think buyers are, like I said, are pulling back. So there's not a lot of activity to cause the price to either go up or down. All right, that was Columbus. Now let's do Cincinnati. If you have a metro you want me to analyze, throw it in the comments below. But all these metros are at your request. So I'm doing this for you, in service of you. New listings in Cincinnati, Ohio, up 0.9% year over year. Like Columbus, it's just kind of stagnant with new listings. I wonder how active listings are now. Let's do it. I mean, is that right? Yeah. 58% increase, 58%, folks, over last year as far as the number of active listings. Look at that, 5,900, almost 6,000 active listings right now in Cincinnati. Last year at this time, they had 3,700. So there's like, what, 2,300 more homes for sale in Cincinnati? Jeez. Wow. Wow. Maybe I'm just a geek, but I think that information is cool. I apologize. I got a new mic here, so I'm just trying to get used to it. All right. So let's do median days on market. Look at this. Median days on market. 38 days, up 26 days year over year. Man. So this time last year, it was taking 12 days to sell a house, to put it in contract. Now it's 38 days. So again, like Columbus, inventory is sitting there. But active listings are not, they're not skyrocketing. They're kind of leveled off because new listings aren't amazing. New listings stink. All right, let's do pending sales. Yeah, we had that big spike um, last year at this time, right? We had a big spike. So right now it's actually pending sales are down 8%, but that's because of that spike. In general, the pending sales are just awful like they are in Columbus. Not a surprise there. All right, let's do median sale price for Cincinnati. Yeah, up again, $295,000. That's right. You can still buy a house for $295,000 if you live in Cincinnati. You can do that in some parts, probably. In other parts, it's probably, much more unaffordable. But it looks like it peaked at 307,000 back in August. No, I'm sorry, back in July to early August, it peaked at 307, but now it's down to 295. So it has dropped. It drops every winter. You can see that in the seasonality, right? It always drops somewhat, but there's just not a lot of activity to create a price changes that much. That's what we need. We need, if people aren't selling houses and people aren't buying houses, you're not going to see the median price change that much. It's just going to remain sticky. That's, by the way, why home prices haven't crashed, even though interest rates have went up, over the last few years. It's because transactions crash. But when transactions crash, median price can't really do much. It just can't. All right, that's Cincinnati. Let's do Cleveland. I'll start with new listings and now do Cleveland, Believeland. Cleveland, Ohio with new listings. Make sure I get my little cursor right. Up 1.4%. So not impressive. No alarm there. Active listings leveling off or somewhat going down. Again, just like Columbus and Cincinnati. Let's do median days on market. That's starting to go down a little bit. They're at 19 median days on market. How long a property takes to go into contract. That's only up 2.9 days year over year. What was Columbus? 26 days up year over year. So I think homes are just not taking. I mean, they are taking longer to sell on average in Ohio, but in Cleveland, it's about like it was last year, really close to it. All right, let's do median sale price for Cleveland. 230 grand, even more affordable than Cincinnati. Looks like it peaked at 247,000, now 230,000 for Cleveland. I mean, again, seasonality takes hold. Prices tend to go down. That's just how it is. And you can really see the seasonality in Cleveland if you look at that chart. You can really see it. So, I've heard that a lot of investors are running into Cleveland. I get deals all the time from Cleveland or in the Cleveland market. I don't own anything in Cleveland. I don't really even look at deals there, but I know a lot of investors like Cleveland. So it'll be interesting to see if that, if the price goes up as interest rates come down and people run into Cleveland to invest because it's an affordable market. All right, so that was Cleveland. Now let's do our next metro. I've got Denver. Somebody requested Colorado, but they didn't tell me where. And so I'm just going to assume Denver. We'll do new listings in Denver, Colorado. Up 9% year over year with new listings. Not, it's more than it was last year, but definitely under 2021 and right on track with 2022. So nothing alarming, I wouldn't say, in Denver. What I'm looking for, by the whoops, I don't want to do that one. What I'm looking for, by the way, is like a huge spike in new listings. Like if you see the trajectory of new listings, skyrocket, then that could be trouble for a market if it's not selling through, right? So active listings, it's flat, has been for a while. like it's not going up or down right now. It's definitely up compared to the last few years. It's still up 36%. So a lot of active listings compared to the last few years, but they're not adding a ton of of active listings right now because new listings are dismal. Pending sales up 4% year over year. So pending sales nationally are down. In Ohio, they're down for the most part, but here pending sales are actually up 4%. Hmm. Okay. But nothing amazing at all. All right, let's do median days on market for Denver. Median days on market 27, 10 up 10 days. So it's definitely taking longer to sell by 10 days in Denver, according to this data. And this is going up, kind of like Columbus, right? Columbus was going up, Denver going up as far as how long it takes to sell a home. Now we'll do median sale price for Denver. Wow, look at that. Down 2% year over year. So you want to find a price, an area where prices are dropping, not going up? We just found one. Denver. Look at that. And you can see like it was underneath 2022 most of the year. Then it went above 2022 and now it's dropping back underneath that line and it's heading down. Like it's been heading down now for several weeks. And looks like Denver peaked back in April of 2022 at 617 grand. Denver's ridiculously expensive. Beautiful city, but man, that's expensive. But now 572. That's a big move. I mean, that's almost 100 grand. Wow. Huh. Hey, look, we found a place where prices are going down. Congrats to us. All right, so there's Denver, Mr. Colorado. You wanted that one. I gave it to you. Let's do Dallas, Texas next. Wow. New listings in Dallas. More than last year, but not skyrocketing. Actually, new listings are up 16% compared to last year. But I mean, look how tight that is. Every year, it's about the same over the last 4 years. I mean, really close, right? Nothing alarming. It does look like it's starting to level off. Active listings, they're going down in Dallas. Look at that, going down. Huh? Wouldn't expect that at all. I would think Dallas would be active listings would be going like straight up. Who knew? Pending sales in Dallas, Texas, down. Look at that. Well, no, they're up 4.2%, but headed down. So since pending sales are like that, or going down, but still up from last year, I wonder if we will see a rise in active listings as the winter comes, and if you still see those new listings go up like we did, right? We're seeing those new listings in Dallas go up, so that'll eventually translate into more active listings, I would think. All right, median days on market in Dallas. Wow, like a lot of other areas. Look at this, up 12 days year over year. Now it's on the market 47 days. Median days on market's 47, up 12 days year over year. That's a consistent trend we're seeing, folks. Houses are just taking longer to sell. They just are, which is probably a good thing. I mean, I haven't looked for a home to live in a long time, but being in a market where you have to walk in on a Monday and make an offer on Tuesday, that's not fun. It's not even fun for the sellers, to be honest with you, because there's just no time to really pick a buyer. You kind of get nervous that the buyer never even looked at the house. They're just trying to buy because they're, because fear of missing out. But now at least they can, buyers are taking their time. Oops, I got a rattle going on my table. Apologize if you can hear that. All right, let's do median sale price. Dallas, Texas, median sale price, 414 grand, down 2%. There's another metro that has a drop year over year. And it peaked back in 2022 at 464 grand. Now 414 grand, a $50,000 drop this year. I'm sorry, since the peak in 2022. It's kind of gone sideways most of the year, but it's kind of trended down the last couple months overall. So there's Dallas, Texas. All right, now let's do Nashville, Tennessee. New listings in Nashville, Tennessee. Up 11% year over year, definitely more than last year. Not skyrocketing, but not dropping either. Now let's look at active listings. Wow. Only up 16% year over year in active listings. That surprises me. People keep saying Nashville is like going to be the epicenter of the housing market crash. And if you get a chance to go to Nashville, the houses in the suburbs there are like bigger than big. And there's some neighborhoods there that have houses that are just unreal. Some of the biggest, like most impressive outside anyway of houses, like the exterior that I've seen, like, and that goes for most any other metro. There's just a lot of them were really unique and huge houses, like just 6,000, 7,000, 10,000 square feet. So I thought maybe we would see more inventory there, but active listings are not skyrocketing at all. Let's do pending sales. Pending sales are stagnant, down, what is that? Up 1.2% in Nashville, but not anything to be alarmed about. They're still up compared to last year, though, which is surprising considering nationally we're down and most other areas were down. All right, let's do days on market for Nashville, Tennessee. This is, only, what's that? It's only up 6 days, but it's 55 days now. Maybe that's because all the inventory is super expensive. I don't know. Median sale price in Nashville, how's that doing? 451 grand. Looks like it peaked at 479. Now you're 451. Year over year up 2%, but it's not crashing. The prices aren't crashing there. I'm really shocked. I thought Nashville would be a dumpster fire, but it's not. All right, we did Nashville. Now we're doing Fort Lauderdale, Florida. By the way, if you're in Florida, you know somebody, hope everything goes okay with the hurricane. That's not fun. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's like the last thing they need, right? Isn't that the last thing that Florida needs is another hurricane? Especially the housing market there and the condo market. It's brutal. All right, new listings. Only up 3.6% year over year in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, again, I thought this would show like, woo, right up with new listings. Woo. It's not. It's like barely up. All right, what are active listings doing? And they're kind of leveled off too. Actually, they're going down now, but they're still 49% over last year. 49%. Holy shnikes. That's insane. But they've kind of been leveled off for a while. Pending sales. What are those doing? Well, they're going down and they're at a 4-year low, down 15% in pending sales. So, man, like, look at this. Go back and look at new listings now. If new listings were to spike, like go way up, right? If you were to see that trajectory go up, then the way pending sales are right now, they're so bad, down 15% year over year, that you would have to think then active listings would explode. But because new listings are not exploding, they're not adding inventory to the market. And this type of analysis you can do in your local market too. You can go to Redfin and do it by county level or by city level, or you could even get the raw data from a realtor. And you can even get it from Zillow if you're if you want to spend some time on that. And you you can figure this out by looking at the new listings, the pending listings, the active listings to kind of get a sense of what, where the market's headed. All right, let's do median sale price in Fort Lauderdale. Huh, going back up, look at that. What? They're still up 6% year over year. They haven't been down underneath 2023 at all this year. I'm mystified by some of these markets because I hear people say Florida's crashing, Florida's doomed. We're doomed in Tennessee. We're doomed in Texas. But it doesn't seem, at least the metros we looked at today, I don't know. I don't see the doom. But I don't live there either. So this is only looking at data on a screen, much different. But from a data standpoint, I don't see the crash in these markets. Atlanta is next. Let me go to this. Atlanta. ATL. Same with Atlanta. I hear that Atlanta is doomed. New listings, 2,000 new listings. That's down. That's right. Down 12% year over year. So again, if you can't have a housing market crash with new listings like this, you got to have a ton of new listings hit the market. And by the way, if there was a wave of foreclosures coming or a wave of distress selling, you would see new listings skyrocket in places like Atlanta. You're not seeing that. I think people are just sitting home, not selling, not buying. That's what it seems like. Wow. Wowee. Okay, well, now let's do active listings in Atlanta. It's hard to get this on this. Okay, down 0.02% in Atlanta for active listings. I, again, just don't see a ton of active listings building. It's not happening. All right, pending sales, they probably, what are they doing? Yeah, they stink, right? They're a 4-year low right now. Down 12% pending sales. Nobody buying, nobody selling. Just a lot of stale inventory. Like people selling are probably the ones that have to sell, right? By the way, that's when you go find a deal. I should have mentioned that before, but that's when you find a deal is when you've got somebody who needs to sell, doesn't want to sell. And a lot of people right now, if you're listing your house, need to sell, or again, they're kind of doing like a test or wish pricing. But there aren't many people that are saying, let me sell my $400,000 house and move to a $700,000 house. Most people are like, nah, I'll wait until prices come down if they ever do, or I'll wait for interest rates to come down. So pending sales stink in Atlanta too. Again, just like that other market where we just look at Fort Lauderdale, and even Nashville, if pending sales are so bad that if you had a huge influx of inventory, then you would see that price correction big time. So let's look at the prices in Atlanta. Yeah, they're just flat. Look at that. Up 1% year over year, $396,000 now. They peaked this year at $418,000. So they have come down, but it looks like they come down every winter. I mean, at least what I'm seeing on the screen, crash is not in Atlanta yet. Just not there. All right, what else I got here? Boston, Beantown. Boston. New listings in Boston, Massachusetts, up 14% year over year and going up. But look at that every year at this time. I want to know, somebody has to tell me how that happens every year. There's if you know somebody in Boston who knows real estate, I'd love to know. Comment and tell me, like, why do new listings, and look, it happens in several times in Boston. It's like it just follows every year, follows the same trajectory. But this is going up 14% year over year increase in new listings. Let's look at active listings, see how they're doing. Again, look at that seasonality. It's like it all follows it. It follows, every year is virtually the same. 14% up year over year in active listings. They're going up, but then if seasonality is any trend, they're going to go down again. Pending sales up 7% year over year. So they're actually moving inventory. That'll be something to watch. I'll have to come back to Boston here in a few weeks, see what's up with that. Median days on market. How long is it taking to sell houses in Beantown? 21 days, up 1.3 days. It's basically what it was the last 4 years, almost no difference at all. And now median sale price. Look at that go down. Goes down every year at this time, but it's down to $713,000. Peaked at 768 this year, back in June. Yikes. But now it's headed down. Looks like it heads down every year. But it's not underneath 2023, at least not yet. And it doesn't look, it may cross it at some point. We'll have to come back to Boston. I'll make a note of that. Huh. Let me take a comment real quick, and I'll do another metro here. Good morning. Has anyone studied if the NAR commission changes have impacted the market at all? I've seen some negative YouTube vids from realtors about the commission changes. Hey, Coors Light. Yeah, good morning to you. I can only tell you that I think the biggest problem right now with the NAR changes and the commission changes the commission changes really haven't affected me in my deals, like from a standpoint of communicating with buyers and sellers. That hasn't been an issue. But where it has been an issue is the whole buyer agreement. And if you're not familiar with that, folks, you basically now, if you want to go see a house that's listed on the market, you have to sign a buyer agreement with an agent. Now, that buyer agreement can say anything. So it could say, like, you're going to be beholden to that agent for the next 3 months, 6 months, year. It's customizable. But in general, it says that if you, before you tour the home, you have to enter in this agreement so that you're aware as a buyer that you may be responsible for the commission of the sale, not the seller. You may be, as a buyer, responsible for the commission. And I've had people at open houses come through and tell me they're only looking at properties that have open houses. They're not calling realtors to go out and actually visit properties on the market. If it's an open house, they'll go see it. If it's not an open house, they're not going to go see it. I've had buyers tell me that. The reason being, they're under the impression that they have to pay for the showings. Now, there are realtors that are charging for showings. I know I've seen different folks in my market advertise that they'll take buyers to showings for, $25 or $50 per showing. And so I think there are buyers out there that think they have to sign their life away in order to see a house. How I do it is, if a buyer wants to work with me and see multiple houses, then we'll create the agreement based on that. But if a buyer's like, I just want to see this one house today, that's all I want to do, Jason, I mean, this is like a one-off, then I create the agreement just for that day, just for that house. And I don't charge them to see the house. The other part I think they're freaked out about, and this is a great question, Coors Light. The other part I think they're freaked out about is that they don't understand how the commissions are paid if inside the buyer agent agreement. But, that agreement, you got to be careful when you sign those, because some of the agreements actually say if you buy real estate at all during that agreement period, like if I locked you into an agreement for 6 months, part of the boilerplate agreement that I get from my real estate board here in Columbus says that you owe me commission, buyer, if you buy real estate at all during that period of time. So if I show you a house on a Monday and then I don't hear from you for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then you walk by an open house and 3 weeks later, and then you go in and make an offer and buy it, even if I don't help you buy the house because you don't tell me, if I find out you bought a house and you're under that agreement, I can come back and ask you for commission. I mean, that's how it could work. So you got to be careful with those. Um, I I think it's I don't think the lawsuit has helped buyers in any shape or form. I think it's made it more difficult to see houses. It's made it more confusing, and but it is what it is. So, you know, I guess the good news for me as a realtor is it's the same rule for everybody. So as a buyer now, think about this. As a buyer now, you can't just kick the tires at houses. You can't just, on a Sunday you see a house and you're like, I just want to go check it out. You got to sign an agreement to go see it. Really, the only houses you can see are open houses or for sale by owner without an agreement. I mean, that's really all you can see. It's really a shame. But anyway, that's what I see anyway from what's going on with the changes. The commission changes themselves, the actual percentage we're paid, it's basically the same. It hasn't really changed at all. But it's that buyer agreement that's the big change. So that's definitely made a difference. And I think there's a lot of buyers that are scared of that. More so than I thought there would be. There's definitely more misconception out there. So good question. Thanks for asking that. All right. So I'm going to do one more metro here. I want to do another Florida. I'll do Orlando. I'm just kind of curious to find these big crashes. Yeah, look at new listings in Orlando. What in the world? I'm going to change metros then. Do Miami. Okay, so look at Miami. New listings are actually going up in Miami. Whoops. Let me see if I can change this. Yep. New listings going up in Miami. Huh. Up 12% year over year. All right, now maybe we found a crashing market. Active listings. Well, wow, they've been flat. Look at that. Not flat, but they haven't gone up or down, but they're flat. I guess, the trend is flat. They're certainly still up compared to last year, 34% compared to last year, or 35% if you're rounding. All right, let's look at pending sales. Pending sales going down 17% in Miami. Good grief. All right, now we'll do median sale price. Let's see how that's doing. It's not crashing at all. Up 7% year over year in Miami. So it's telling, right, that we're not seeing a massive amount of price decline yet. We're just not in metros. Will it happen? It may, but right now it's not happening in most metros, at least the ones we analyzed today. No massive price crashes. Okay. All right. Well, unless anybody else has a suggestion for me on a metro, I think I got them all. Atlanta, Boston. Yep, I got them all. Again, if you have a metro you want me to analyze specifically, just drop it in the comments below. Let's just take another comment here real quick. Oh, Coors Light again. Yes, good point about buyers thinking that they might have to sign their life away now. There might need to be more communication to buyers about the changes. Yeah, I agree. It's something I try to educate my clients on. I just try to think about them. Like if I'm in their position, what would I want? What would make me comfortable? Like it's, I figure as an agent, if I do my job well, I'll get paid for it eventually. Like so I just try to put myself in the shoes of the buyer and go, how can I explain this so that they understand it? And they don't really care about the commission changes or the buyer agreement. I mean, they care, but they just want to buy a house. So I think you just have to put the client first in your mind, and things work out usually for the best. So anyway, good comments, Coors Light. Thank you. All right. I think we're all wrapped up now. I appreciate your time today. I am going to do this again next week. We do it every Thursday. I'll do it again at 11 a.m. And I'm also doing daily lives every morning at 9 a.m. weekdays, just to highlight a couple things about the housing market that's going on. I think the big thing for you to watch for in your market, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, or even if you're a realtor, is that new listing, the pending sales, and the active listings. Look at that to see where the inventory is headed, and that'll give you a clue as to where prices may head. You see that inventory spike, you see it sit a long time, probably prices will drop. But again, right now, we're not seeing prices drop significantly in most metros across the country. Just not happening, despite what a lot of people are saying. Like I've heard Travis Spencer, I heard Melody Wright. Um, I've heard them talk about how prices are crashing in Texas and Nashville, or Texas, Tennessee, California, Florida, but I'm not seeing it in these numbers yet. It may be coming down a little bit in some metros, but I don't see a price crash yet. But we're going to keep looking. We'll be here every week trying to find it. So we'll look forward together. All right. Hey, have a great day. Thanks for joining me this morning. We'll see you again on my Redfin update.